pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those who make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Barrett.
Here.
Mr. Brooks.
Here.
Mr. Marin.
Here.
Mr. Belushko.
Here.
Mrs. McClay.
Present.
Also in attendance is Mayor George Brown, Controller Tony Thomas, Assistant City Clerk Tracy Smith, Administrative Assistant Lisa Sanfilippo. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's regular session of council. Please turn off all cell phones. Following are examples of some important council rules. They are not intended to be a complete list. Please adhere as closely as possible to the 5-minute speaker presentation time limit. No persons are allowed to address the council from beyond the rail, except the speaker at the dais who has the floor. The chairperson shall preserve order and decorum and prevent attacks on personalities. The chairperson shall determine all points of order. No person except officers or their representatives shall be permitted within the rail during any meeting without the express permission of the council. Council kindly asks that the public please vacate the building within 10 minutes after the meeting adjourns. And finally, members of the administration, please use the microphone. Pending legislation.
Anyone here on pending legislation want to speak about it?
Did the property sale get removed?
Removed.
Yes, the resolution for the potential sale of the former DPW facility has been removed at the request of the buyer.
Anybody? All right, perfect. We'll move right along.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second for the 3 resolutions.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barrett, second by Mr. Brooks. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Belushko?
Yes.
Mrs. McClay?
Yes.
And we need motion and a second on the 2 ordinances, one for the mobile food facilities and the other is for the Police Civil Service Commission.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Marin,
Second.
Second.
Oh, or Bill, whoever.
second by second by Mr. Belushko. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Belushko?
Here.
Mrs. McClay?
Yes.
That's all the business that we have. Council presentation.
Mr. Barrett?
The only additional thing since Tuesday, it wasn't turned in, that just came up, 190 Matson Ave, the former Apollo Electric building is overgrown pretty badly. I think it's being converted into apartments, but a bit of landscaping work. That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
Continuing our conversation from Tuesday related to e-bikes, I am now going to be like a dog on a bone, driving over here 4. So I saw 2 e-bikes, 1 regular bicycle, and 1 scooter. 2 are in the street, 2 are on the sidewalk, so yay, 2 are in the street. But you know, the thing about these scooters, this one kid, so I'm at South Main Street by the post office, must have been going 20 miles an hour. And just think, and he's no helmet, no nothing. You just hit the wrong crack or pothole. Oh, we don't have potholes in Wilkes-Barre. And you'd go flying. So it's just, I mean, bad personal responsibility for that particular person. But again, yeah, we do really have to do something and look into it, and education and all kinds of things. So.
An e-bike almost hit me on the way here as well.
There you go.
I was in front of the Kirby, and he was right in the middle of the street. Might have been the same dude.
Tony, just the other day, I saw a little kid. He was no more than 6, riding a scooter down the street, and he was cooking. I'm thinking, no helmet.
Right, no helmet.
Oh.
So, yeah. All right, nothing else. Thank you.
If you, yep.
Want to pass?
Hi, good evening. Yesterday, myself, Council Chairperson McClay, and Stan Mirren spoke to residents of Washington Square Apartments and asking them, what issues do you have? And one of them was e-bikes. So what we're doing is working with our solicitor, Maureen Collins. We are drafting up a letter to the state legislature and the governor, and it's going to be signed by the mayor and also any council members that want to agree to this, asking them to strengthen the laws for e-bikes and scooters. We have to have stronger laws, and they have to come from the state legislature. So hopefully, next week, we're going to be addressing B'nai B'rith, right, Stan?
Yes.
And as we call on these different senior centers and talk to the residents, we're going to ask them to also sign this letter. So when we forward that letter to the governor, the state senator Marty Flynn, and Eddie Day Pashinsky, we're hoping that there'll be thousands of names that have signed that. There's power in numbers. So this is something that we're working on, and I thank it, Attorney Collins, for your help in putting this together. And then, like I said, council, if you agree, you can sign it, and I'll send it out through my office as a letter from the mayor and council. Okay?
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, we probably have 50 people
Yes.
yesterday who were ready to sign it.
And
so I think it's
most
great.
complaints were e-bikes.
Okay, Mr. No,
Can't hear it at the high rise.
Mr. Marin?
Yeah, I didn't have anything, but on the way here, I got a call, Kent Lane between Dana and Moyallen, there's a lot of high grass in just that small area. I didn't get any, only address I got was 156. If they could drive by that, it's a small little area, maybe about 30 houses. There's some high grass there, that's all I have for today.
Mr. Belishko?
I just want to recognize code enforcement. Tuesday, I had 2 complaints. By Wednesday afternoon, both complaints were resolved. I can't say enough about our code enforcement guys. They really do a great job,
I agree.
but that's all.
Perfect. I only have one thing too today. The Crime Watch reached out to me, and they would like to do a town hall, which I know has been done in the past, and I mean, it's not something that I'm opposed to doing. So if the other council members and administration is okay with that, I can start to plan something like that. I think that would be
Yeah.
great for all the residents.
All for it.
Perfect. I don't have anything else either today. All right, public discussion. Jelena Bolding? Jelana, thank you. When you come up, just state your name for the record. Thank you.
My name is Jelani Bolden. Actually, do you need my address as well?
No.
Okay. My main point to bring up here is I am a transplant from Reno, Nevada, and I was born and raised in California, specifically in San Jose, so the epicenter of Silicon Valley. When I came to Pennsylvania, at least to me, and obviously I'm biased because of where I came from, there was a stark difference in what I saw growing up there and what I saw here. Here seemed to be more sane, less crime generally speaking. I don't know if I've ever saw anyone that I obviously could point out that looked like a gang member since I've been here. I could do that 5 minutes stepping out of my door pretty much every bit of the time I lived in California, and Reno, Nevada wasn't much better. But while I do live in Nanticoke, I do come to Wilkes-Barre every day, through it, to do things, to visit people and whatnot. And in a particular section of Wilkes-Barre, where Mofongo is at, or I think it's just Mofung, that is, from what if my research was correct, that's supposed to be a family-friendly restaurant. It doesn't look to be such a thing. It looks to be what might be a center of would possibly be in the future a lot of crime. And again, I am from California. I'm not going to ask what anybody thinks in this council about the state of California, but I know because I grew up there. What typically happens with places like this is there are crimes that will become connected to each other. I see, and people are allowed to dress how they want. I understand that. I'm not trying to bring communism to Wilkes-Barre, but when you see scantily clad women in and out of places that are supposed to be family-friendly, generally at times where family-friendly things tend not to be what's going on, there are usually other crimes that will pop up in the future. Now, obviously, I can't determine that. I can't just say it's going to happen. But again, I have seen this in the past throughout my life. So things like prostitution, things like sex trafficking, and unfortunately, what I'm sure many of you have heard of, sex trafficking children. And then what is usually connected to that are the drug trade and weapons trade, illegal weapons trade. And while I'm fine with the Second Amendment, I love it, I'm not fine with illegal weapons being moved around the area and used to do crime. So, again, I can't predict that that's going to happen. But if past serves me as a good predictor, or at least a possible look into the future, it doesn't look good for that particular area of Wilkes-Barre. And people who are willing to do those types of crimes don't usually like to center themselves and stay where they are. They usually want to spread out and do as much as they possibly can, usually for money, and sometimes because of power. Because a lot of the guys that grow up in those type of environments, they don't see themselves moving up a corporate ladder. They don't see themselves becoming city council members. They mean to grab power wherever they can grab power. And that tends to be a place where they can grab it pretty quickly because they can use very harsh means to get it. So that's my concern, is that I see a growing trend in this area, maybe not so much outside of the area, but it concerns me just because I like it here so much in comparison to the two places I came from before. And being that I'm a veteran, I've seen things that maybe some of the people here haven't seen. Unless some of you are veterans, I don't know for sure. But I hope that that doesn't happen here. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Also, welcome to Wilkes-Barre and the Wyoming Valley. You don't have to run away. You know what I always like, particularly people who move from out of the area, you have a different set of eyes, a different kind of perspective on it. And I will say it's refreshing to hear that we have low crime. And when you do compare it to places like California and Reno. So thank you all for your comments. Very aware of what you're talking about on the corner of Academy Street. And I believe we have a lot of other people here to address that as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
We actually have 3 more on that, so we'll wait, if you want to wait until after.
Sure.
And then it'll be perfect. Adam McGee. Thank you.
I do have a handout for everyone. My name is Adam McGahey. I live at 459 South River Street here in Wilkes-Barre. I am pastor of Moving River Ministries at 453 South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and to speak about the requested zoning variance for Mofun Lounge at 120 Academy Street. I know this is not the zoning board meeting, but I wanted to head it up prior to the zoning meeting by addressing council with this issue, because I know council has a lot of influence here in the city, and I'm hoping that you will use that influence to influence the Liquor Control Board and also those that are on the zoning board. So we want to be respectful, but we also want to be clear, council. And we address you today prior to the zoning board decision next week about the land use impacts and how that is going to affect us as neighbors. Not just whether the applicant has a liquor license, they do, but I want to inform you that they are currently operating under a limited agreement. It is a conditional licensing agreement. That is part of the packet that I did give to you all. It is an 8-page conditional limited agreement. And so with that, this agreement exists because there were serious prior disturbances and adjudicated issues connected to this operation. The gentleman that just spoke, he talked about it. Now, we as a family have lived at this address more than 30 years, and there are some other people in the neighborhood that have been there just as long or longer, and they are here. We have seen that neighborhood go from a red light district to drugs, you name it. The loud music is now here, and it seems like we are headed backwards. And we are here to prevent that neighborhood from going back to being a red light district. So the license wasn't simply renewed on autopilot for them. It was renewed in November of 2025. It expires August 31st of this year. Please do something about it. And with the information that I'm going to share with you, I think you will have enough information to actually do something about it. The conditional agreement is not a blanket reassurance. It's an enforcement mechanism. So that's what it's used for. You have it in right before you now, and you can use it. You have the authority to use that as a mechanism to enforce it. Renewal depends on compliance, and if there's a breach, consequences follow. Citations or non-renewal. Now, this is my concern specifically. There have been many calls in the past to this facility for numerous reasons, and I'm going to cite some in just a little bit. But oftentimes, especially for the loud music that they play or they sing with their karaoke now, it goes no further than being a complaint. There are no citations. The citations are what is going to move the needle here. They need to have a citation every time 911 is called. That is going to directly affect their renewal and getting that done. A complaint, I think, to be valid is that these calls are not followed through with issuing a citation, as I said. Now, we understand the argument that the applicant will state. They will say, but there are additional conditions, and we are meeting those conditions by the letter that you have in front of you. And so they'll say that they have security and alcohol management. Conditions help manage. Did I go over my 5 minutes?
Just finish up.
I'm going to wrap it up real fast for you then. So the agreement itself references prior problems: fights, weapons, related incidents, disorderly operations, and visibly intoxicated patrons. If that history required intensive controls, then we ask council to be extremely cautious about approving variances that increase crowding and expand outdoor congregation into additional areas. Let me say this before I close. The variances that are coming up before council next week are going to increase their non-conforming use, which is currently at 25%, to a 98% non-conforming facility, giving them license to do whatever they want to do behind their black fence and now their canopy. And there are concerns with that, because we won't know, and people have a tendency to think, you can't see us, you can't hear us, you don't know what's going on. But we know the history of that area, and we want to prevent that from happening again. So lastly, I conclude with a call to all in Wilkes-Barre. Show up in support at the zoning meeting on August 19th at 4:30. In opposition to the aforementioned variance request. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Karen?
Hello, good evening, everybody. So I'm Karen McGahey, and I'm the neighbor of Pastor Adam, who was just up here. So, and I come to share my grievances about MoFon. So, they are looking to expand outdoors. Now, mind you, if you don't live nearby, to you, it means absolutely nothing. It's just a business that's serving food. What's the big deal, right? Except that it's not a business that is just serving food, and that is in a residential neighborhood. So everything they do, we hear it because we're right next to them. Everybody who goes visit and goes to eat there, we see them and we have to interact with them because they have to drive by the front of our house, park in front of our house, because we're just a few blocks down. And this is at 2 a.m., okay? I have small children, I have a growing family, and there are many other children in our neighborhood as well, some that are even closer to MoFun than I am. So my request is that you take that into consideration if you would, and just put yourself in my spot and some of my neighbors' spot. You know, we're right next door to them, and just consider the implication that that will have if they're able to bring their business out into the open, right? And if you are not familiar with the business, I encourage you to get educated. Go onto their Facebook page and see what they're promoting, and then you will see what a family-friendly business that is. And that is all I have, so thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
And Sam Garnett.
I'm Sam Garnett. I live right across the street, and I pastor the Calvary Bible Church at 410 South River. First of all, I have a question concerning whether this lounge is operating under a family restaurant. Does anybody know the answer to that?
Sure.
We normally don't go back and forth, so just finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, as our neighbor said, this is not a family restaurant. This is a nightclub, and it is a bar. Now, city ordinances, from what I understand, is 500 feet. They're supposed to be from that bar to our church. Labor Control Board, I think there's a provision in there for 300 feet. Well, if you go down to South River Street, their parking lot comes right to the edge of the sidewalk, and you go across the street, and we're right there. So it's not 300, and it's not 500. So I think on the basis of the fact that they're not 300 to 500 feet away from a church building, ought to shut them down. All right? The next thing is about this canopy being put up is where they're going to park then, because they're going to 141 feet. That's got to take up most of what their parking is. And in fact, I can tell you I'm getting ready to put a gate up on our side, because if this business continues, it's going to flow over. A couple summers ago, they had a motorcycle gang in there. They took up the whole street. They were up on my porch. They were on neighbors' yards. They were blocking our alley. They were blocking people's driveways. All kinds of commotion. And when they left, we had to clean up the street from the garbage and the beer cans and everything else that they left behind. Now, that's just one incident. Now, I get a phone call earlier this week, which is why I'm a little ticked off, to make it cordial. Anyway, found some pictures talking about a family-friendly restaurant. Again, if you go to Facebook and put on their MoFound Lounge, I think one of the pictures comes up immediately of their showgirls on the steps of our church building. Now, what they do on the other side of the street could be their business, as long as they, but when you try, and they're not on the sidewalk, that's public. They are on our steps. Now, you know, I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm thinking, with all this technology, maybe they could take a picture, Photoshop it in, and maybe somebody else did it. But as I look at it, it looks to me like it's the owner that has posted those pictures with the emblem of the you know, the logo of their business. And it is, I don't even know what to say, but anyway, they had no business being on our property to promote their business, especially they had these women supposedly dressed like nuns, but not, you know, in scantily clothed. Anyway, you can look on their Facebook. I'm sure somebody else found the pictures and sent them to me, so it's got to be out there in the public. But for them to advertise their business on our church property, that's where I get upset. But anyway, regardless of all of that, I think the fact that there is a bar operating within 5 or 300, or not operating within, there's not that buffer between our church and that business now, and the other, of course, you're not reacting to me, but my question, secondly, then would be, did the city give a variance for a bar to operate within, to bridge that city ordinance of being 500 feet away? And if they did issue that variance, I'd like to have a copy of it. But anyway, my time is going out. I could say a lot more, but anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that is everybody on that lounge that I'm aware of. So let me just kind of give you what I have on that. So I as well saw that coming up on zoning, and I always drive to all of the things that are coming on zoning. I drove past there Saturday and I drove past there Sunday, and I was down the road on Cary Ave and absolutely heard the music. So I did report it on Monday when I came in. Like I said, I go through all the zoning, so I try to, figure out where the area is and make sure it's the right fit. And I know Councilman Brooks has been on this one as well. We did actually check with the police chief. He is working on this one as well. So just so you know that is in the works as well. Does anybody else want to comment on that?
Pastor Adam, thank you for the LCBC report that has, 7 violations.
Yes.
And while I'm very happy that you come to this forum, this is really a forum, and I know there's the planning, but I assume LCB has a process and a system for this to be renewed.
They do.
And they have, I'm sure like us, have a public hearing?
I don't think so, and that's why I implore council, you guys have the authority and influence to, for LCB. Please get to them before the 31st.
Okay.
Okay, I got that. Great. And Calvary Baptist Church or Bible Church, I've seen those disgusting ads, and it is.
What's out there in the public?
It's beyond poor taste. It's just absolutely.
It's a mockery.
Yeah.
And God will not be mocked.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to make sure that you attend the zoning meeting. I mean, attend as many as you can, speak at the zoning meeting, let them know that you are not happy, at least fight for this variance at this point, and then we can work on some of the other things. But please make sure you try to attend that zoning hearing.
Because if I'm counting right, it looks like there's nine of you. And only one has to speak when you go to the zoning, but you would all stand up and say, yes, we're all here together on this issue.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be there as well.
Me too, because I have a few things there too. Dave Magda.
Dave Magda. I know about this situation. Mine's small potatoes. I mean, mine's just, I'm just answering questions I just have questions from when I was cut off last meeting. Mike, I'm asking about the drainage system that was installed by Wilkes-Barre that's draining into the garbage and then into Laurel Run Creek. And I brought you pictures because I have other copies. I'll give them to you when I'm done. That's right there. It's draining through the easement by the anthracite. It was put in by Wilkes-Barre and then it just stops.
On the anthracite? Is that what
Yeah, there's an easement on the anthracite property. So you put the drainage in and then it just stops. And the drainage is 36 inches. It's a big black pipe. There's already holes in it. And then it just drains onto the land that then goes in onto the garbage, and then it flows into Laurel Run Creek, especially when we have heavy rains. It was put in, it's the storm drains from Scott Street because they were overflowing and they were flooding the houses, and it's right next to the sewer clean out, and it was going into the sewer. I'm sure you're aware of that. So I guess they did that to alleviate it, but there's no catch basin or anything. Like, you'll see the pictures, but it just, and then it just, it just drains into swampland, just drains. And
I will bring it up to the sanitary authority.
Right.
I'll have them, they'll actually go there.
It just stops.
And take a look.
Right past Mike's property, it stops. It's draining onto Wilkes-Barre property, and then it goes down, and then it's on the redevelopment property, and then it goes into the Laurel Run Creek that's there.
Okay.
You were trying to ask me.
Yeah, right, at the end of, yeah.
Mike, just wait till the end.
I'm sorry,
I don't want you to
We have
take
to
up
wait till
more
the
of his
end.
time.
I know, understanding though, but the way you run your meeting, sometimes this is the way it should be run. No offense.
I know, but I don't want to take away the time that
It's
you
an
have.
important,
so.
You're right.
it's not as important as Move Found, but I mean, it's still important, The other topic was about the city ordinances, that, maybe we should be more aware of the ordinances that exist. Bill Barrett has made a lot of ordinances, like the garbage being out, the garbage or the recyclables being out 5 days and 7 days prior and then blowing on the street into your storm drains, onto that property. There is an ordinance, and then there are citations and fees that are on that calendar. That's what the point I was trying to get across last meeting. Not that someone isn't doing their job in that aspect. The last one is the homeless camp. More have moved in. More piles have now accumulated. I know you had a meeting, Wilkes-Barre had a meeting with the Redevelopment Authority. The Redevelopment Authority asked me if my offer still stood. I said I'm not allowed on the property. According to Wilkes-Barre, they're taking care of it. But now you have the bike thieves, that there's about 40 to 50 bikes down there in scrap metal. They're the ones that are pondering the Parsons section now, stealing the bikes, and they kind of moved towards Matson Ave. I'm sure people contacted you, Bill. They're more Matson Ave, everything like that. The last issue is the bank. I think I talked to you on, Jessica. I think is that yours, or?
No.
No, you have one side, Bill has the other. I don't know.
Yeah, that's his.
There's about 100 pigeons in there and about 2 feet of pigeon waste.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
When you walk in there. So, and the last thing, I don't call the city anymore since I have several phone numbers, so you could waste all your time looking for my phone number or whatever. I just don't call anymore. I'll just post. Other than that, that's all I have, and I will be at the meeting for Bufel.
I just want to make sure, we're talking about the bank next to the old Golden Palace, Amber.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was United
Yeah.
Penn and Citizen, but
just wanna
I know
make
it's
sure.
under a tax shelter. I think Attorney Hagan had it for sale, but it was too expensive for me to buy back in the day. He wanted like $300K or something. I'm done buying, Bill. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave,
What about that bank building?
after the
Can we
meeting,
look at it
I get your
structurally?
phone number, I'll call you,
Yeah.
and maybe the three of us can meet, them, me, and you,
Yeah.
at the anthracite.
I'll take you down there. I'll take you down there on the side-by-side. That's the way you're only going down there.
Okay.
Wear long pants, lots of copperheads.
Go ahead, Bill.
Dave, I got your pictures, but that bank building, looking at it structurally, I don't know about the roof or anything, but it's not a bad-looking building. It's sad that somebody can't find a use for that.
So-
I know there's not parking around there. It is
So-
sold. It is sold. Did you buy it?
No, so am I allowed to speak? I know I can get cut off, so.
No, you probably don't want to say you bought
So
it.
the situation is, it's $300,000, and everyone bought the land around it, and Wilkes-Barre has this ordinance that if you're gonna open up something with seating inside, you need parking, and there's no off-street parking. So,
Pictures for you. I'll find out about it.
and do you know how much a bank is to knock down? A lot of money.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
John Sahaski.
Yeah.
I wasn't clear where they were
Oh, I'm just
going.
like, wow, Bill, over here.
John Sahoski, Almond Lane. Is there any update or what's happening with the Sterling property, and is that just going to keep sitting there? And I just have another question about the property that was pulled from Willow Street. Did anyone Was there any other interested buyers in that property, and did anybody make any kind of attempts to buy that property, down payments, anything like that, made any kind of attempts to buy that property? That's all I have.
You good? Okay. I do know when that property came in February, there was someone who said they were interested. And I know that they did not follow through with that. Other than that, I don't know of any other.
So there was no down payments or anything made on that?
Mayor's gonna.
Hi, John. We've had several people that contacted us about the property, met with Charlie McCormick, our city administrator, and they never came back and never expressed an interest after the meeting with Charlie McCormick.
So nobody put any money down on it?
No, absolutely not. The only person that was ready to put money down, willing to, is the gentleman that is now interested in it. That was pulled tonight from tonight's agenda by George Albert, because he's not in town today to answer questions from residents that are concerned about the sale. So he said, I would ask you to pull it. So it was pulled by him, not by me or anyone else, but by Mr. Albert, who represents the buyer. And we're looking at putting that back on the agenda for September, but he wants to be here so that anyone that comes with any questions about what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and so forth, he wants to be here for that reason. So I think I answered your question.
Yeah, and anything on Sterling?
It's for sale. The owner has it for sale, right? The Sterling?
Yeah, the Sterling site's for sale, but I've not been given any information about anyone that's interested enough to put a plan down for it or put a deposit down. So, no, I don't have any information other than, Lisa, I believe a gentleman came in today that he may be interested, but nothing concrete is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so no, it sits idle, and it is for sale.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Angel Mathis.
Angel Mathis, Harkins Lane, and I would like to say, I would like to sign that petition when it comes to the bikes, because I've sat here many, many, many years bringing up those bikes, whether it's regular bikes, e-bikes, and scooters. So I will gladly sign your petition. And I'm going to say it, even though I'm not that person. I told you so. Told you so. But I'm here because this is something that goes to what, where are you? Where did he go? He's out there talking. To what he was saying about the trash. I put down about neighbors, new neighbors, and all of that's under my topic. But I have new neighbors. And with new neighbors, I have the same old issues. So it got me thinking that maybe, because what I noticed is my actual neighbor, who is the homeowner who chooses to rent their property, which is their prerogative and their right, chooses to rent to Section 8 people, which is the American dream, is to live in a house and not always in, a housing project or an apartment, because, I grew up in a house. I lived in a house. I chose to move to an apartment, and I had a slumlord. And then I chose, Mom said, hey, come back home. And you know what? I know you guys on council, whose all districts I lived in, are happy that I'm happy to be happy at home. I am happy. But, all that said, I have an issue with my neighbors, because every time we get new neighbors, especially those who are first time living in a home in a neighborhood, they are not aware of the norms that comes with the neighborhood, i.e., the quality of life issues that goes on in the neighborhood, as the ordinances that you guys govern that you create, such as when you live in a neighborhood, you have garbage cans that have lids that, you know what they stop? They stop the raccoons, that Mr. Burden used to complain about, that I come here and I complain about. Because you know what? As long as I didn't have a neighbor, I didn't have a raccoon. Now I have a neighbor who don't have lids on their trash cans, and you know what I got now? The raccoon is back. So after thinking about that, because he woke me up 4:30 in the morning, climbing up on my roof. So I'm like, you know what would be nice? If council could work with housing authority, because you guys appoint them to the board. And not only that, but even with health department, because you guys employ health department, put together a small pamphlet to those who either are renters, new renters coming in, and those who are new to Section 8, saying, hey, if you're gonna live in the city, here's a pamphlet to tell you how to be successful in your new neighborhood. Saying, hey, these are our trash days, even though they're in the calendar. This is what we expect of you living in our neighborhoods. This is on-street parking. Park in the direction that the traffic flows. Don't park against the direction of traffic. Have trash cans that have lids. Your neighbors will love you. Don't park on everybody's property. The rules that increase the quality of life for everyone. I just thought that, this would make my life easier, the residents' life easier, your jobs easier, because people like me, and I love coming here. I congratulate you guys when you're doing a good thing, but I'm here a lot complaining. So maybe, putting together a little pamphlet by the wonderful city of Wilkes-Barre and passing it out would be a good idea. And it'll help you do your jobs, and it'll help keep the residents happy. And then you don't have your trash blowing across all day long, and then it'll have DPW happy because they don't have to pick up trash with maggots all over it. And everybody's happy.
So Angel, when I got in as city council, I met with the health department because I had the exact same idea, a little packet. They actually have a little packet that they give. So when they inspect a new home, they give them like a packet along with a calendar, because everybody's calendar goes missing, that says, these are, some of the phone numbers you need, these are some of the rules, this is the website, like it is. So if you ever want, the health department does have something. The problem is getting people to read it. Yeah.
There's no common sense or personal responsibility. It's bizarre. I'm going to feel like a pastors.
Anybody else got anything? Mary, anything you want? Tony, you got anything? Okay. Motion to adjourn. I need this paper. I wrote all over.